Alright, so let me preface this saying that, like, I really don't care about the game that much. I don't really play it legitimately or anything like that. But there's currently a promotion where they're giving away those big ass fumos. All you gotta do is follow and retweet. So I'm going to follow and retweet every single tweet that says I have to do that until the results have been decided. And once the results have been decided, I'm going to vanish faster than Tom Holland did when Robert Downey Jr. grabbed him and he said he felt no good. Yes. So let me put the music back up. I played a little bit, and by a little bit I mean I just checked the dungeons. There were actually 2 dungeons that unlocked, a couple dungeons I unlocked that I didn't see over here, and I did them. This one here. So there was more medicine and food farming and more talisman spell card farming. So I cleared them, as you can see, and as you see also, there's also an indicator telling me that I cleared as Sanai and not Tenshi, which, you know, means every dungeon has to be done twice, I guess, if you want all the stars, which sounds like really cool. Nothing really else has happened, I don't think. I don't think I touched anything. No, I don't believe I touched anything of importance. I didn't get Marissa's cut-in, if you're wondering. That didn't happen. Suika and Yugi's cut-ins are the same ones from the bosses, though, if you're wondering that. So, yeah. That's about it, really. I can't think of anything else. I think it's just time to go into a dungeon and move on, right? Big pancake, toasty pancake, and sumireko. Okay. So another thing I saw. All right. So I actually took a moment. Toasty pancake, big pancake, big toasty. All right. Sure. They have a new alternate reality unit coming out. I thought it was Remilia because the hair color. It's not Remy. It's Flandre. But the thing about it is, I don't really need all of these people, right? Like that seems a bit overkill. Whatever. Now the thing is, first of all, I think the design is actually pretty cool. I like her sword with the chains. Yeah, there's Remy in black. I mean, I don't even know what that Remy special is, but the interesting thing about Flandre is that she's a vampire hunter. She's a vampire that hunts vampire hunters. And that in itself doesn't sound like much, but I thought about it. It's like, what would compel Flandre to do something like that, right? And it made me think about it. And I was like, wait a minute, Lost World has a few characters like that, don't they? They have a lot of, because of the nature of the alternate realities, or multiple universes, there are realities where certain characters took certain paths that were less, I picked up $2 and I lost it via equipment effect. Yeah, I don't know what that is. So, I was thinking about it, and I thought, some of the characters are actually, they actually have a pretty, cool, interesting background to why they are the way they are. But because it's Lost Word, they're never going to do anything remotely interesting with it. So, for example, I don't know what's going on in the main story. I don't read it. But, with the Red Marissa, the whole idea of the Red Marissa is, a reality where Marissa decided to pursue. Her inferiority complex won over against Reimu. And so she pursued less than her normal values, for strength, which turned her into the Scarlet Witch, who lived way longer than everybody. Pretty sure the entire world that story takes place in is pretty much gone. All the other human characters are gone. Because it's been so long, but you're never going to see that part of the world. You only get to see the tower bit. Which, when you think about it, is a pretty interesting concept in general. A future where Marissa is basically she's basically 5 bad days from destroying the entirety of the world. Because the power she accumulated was too much and she's going to burst like a supernova. But, you know, it's lost words, so you're not going to see that in any real effect. It's just they're just going to tell you about it, and then they're gonna talk about my character again, how everybody is friends with my character, and it's just like, okay. Thank you, Alex, for the resub. So I thought that, like, I thought about it, and that's pretty cool. There's also the. So first of all, I don't like the fact that there are different outfits now as characters. Like they're making characters like Yomu and Shirno and Aya that are just, hey, this is that character in like their outfit from this game. I think that's lazy as fuck. But I thought it was interesting, at least the idea that the Yomu one, for example, the Yomu comes from a world where she was never like stopped, I guess, from what she was doing with gathering spring. And when you think about it, like, what's going on in that world? It gets me more curious about the world that they're from, or so they say they're from, than anything. Because so many things could be different, that it could be interesting. But you're not going to see that because it's lost word. You see what I mean? Costumes are only a literal money seek. Okay, listen. Listen. It is better when pretty much all of the real money purchases are just costumes, instead of making you have to draw for the same unit but better, instead of just making certain characters better to begin with. I hate that shit. Like, you get Yomu, you could buy Yomu's outfit, or you could pull for better Yomu. Like, it's lazy, because it's just Yomu in different clothes. Look at Raisin, for example. Raisin has an alternate version as well, where it's just her in the blazer. Wait a minute. Default Raisin is already in the blazer. Why are we calling that a new unit? You know why we're calling it a new unit. Mr. Krabs, get on here. But that's not really, that's not really the point I'm trying to argue here anyway. My point is that there's a lot of interesting things that happen with characters. Hold on, I gotta talk to this character. Nice to meet you. Subireku Sami, Cyber Original. I'm the first president of the Secret Seal Club. Even if in the cyber world my psychic powers haven't weakened one bit. Don't believe me? Make me along and see for yourself. I'll knock your socks off. See, I think Azure Lane does it well. Azure Lane has premium currency, but the main thing you spend premium currency on is cosmetics, skins, outfits. That's it. Now you can spend them on other things as well, but you don't have to. The gacha system's pretty generous, and when characters get improved, they get retrofits. So they're the same character, but they do get a whole new, essentially free costume as a result, and they become a better unit. That's good. I think that's pretty good, I would say. I ate my pancakes, right? Yeah, like mailing. Well, not even mailing at this point. More like Junko. Mailing is a character who actually got buffed, but Junko, from what I hear, is not a very good character. But, they don't need to improve Junko as a character anymore because they've already gone and made Small Junko as, like, a new unit. Which has turned into, oh, you guys wanted a good Junko? Here you go. You're gonna have to pull for on a limited banner now, though, instead. That rubs people the wrong way. Unless, you're made of money and you just want to spend, spend, spend. But I don't. Oh, I can rank up now. Go rank me up at the gear station. Recruiting me isn't the end of the story, Can you put me to proper use? You recruited me, that's slick. Good luck recruiting. One way to lure enemies into the swing your weapon to the corridor. Turn-based games let you get away with that. Yes, they do. You can take a soaring drug to float for a while. I just realized she's floating. It's a handy way to stay immune to earthquakes and travel over water. You can cause all kinds of effects by using talismans. Like heavy psychic powers. Isn't that awesome? Yes! It's awesome! Don't play gachas. No, you're better for it. Trust me. It has the recruiting going. Remember that recruiting is just one step. You still gotta help your partners grow. If you're going to a dungeon, take me with you. I can come in pretty handy, I can't even see the sun. Let's take a look around. Maybe friendship values have increased. No, yes, yes, no. Okay. So anyway, back to what I was saying. Like, the thing about the Flandre bit... Oh, well. Shit. You get noticeably stronger as you can tell. More as the level and stat increase. Not good for the players. Cyrus plays cause scripts in their mind and body. Cyrus base games regular sets players to... Yeah, it's the same informations. Okay. So the thing that's interesting to me about the Flandre outfit is that Flandre is a vampire hunter. Now, Flandre in canon we know is she's willfully a willful recluse. Because all of her needs are taken care of within the house. So she doesn't actually have to go anywhere, so she stays indoors. But as a vampire hunter, obviously she can't do that, right? But she's a vampire hunter. So she hunts vampire hunters, which means she goes out and hunts them. So what would compel Flandre to take that course of action, right? Why does her hair look like Remy's? That's another question. There are a lot of questions I have as to what would motivate that character to make that choice and do that. And that begs the question, what happened in their universe? Are we ever going to know? Not really. Odds are we're going to get very little information out of what they say in their conversations with you, John Player, but we're never actually going to see anything about the world that turned her into what she is. But I want to know about that world. That world is neat. Did something happen to Remy? Obviously Flan would have an issue with vampire hunters because they're vampire hunters, right? But why would she have so much of an issue that she took up the mantle of hunting vampire hunters? What happened? Like, I want to know, right? The premise of it and the design of the character has gotten me curious about the world that she is from, but I will never see that. Quack and Koish? Thunder and Gods. Alright. Use a Thunder Talisman and clear and defeat 5 gods. Can do. But yeah, that's just what I was thinking. Those are some of my thoughts I had about 30 minutes ago or so. Yeah, about 30 minutes ago. Like, there are many interesting premises that can be done with the idea of multiple universes, but Lost World will never really delve into them outside of the main story, but even then I don't think they're really going to delve into them at all. So the way the characters are going to be portrayed, your character's always going to be the focal point, and you're never really going to get a taste of the universe that's been constructed around you to create this alternate universe that they're from. But, like, the game has done an exceptionally good job at making me curious about the worlds that those characters come from in general, to know all the changes instead of what it's just told me through the screen of a gacha game, you know? Like, if Lost Word was not a gacha game, then the premise would probably be really cool and be able to be taken really far. Like, imagine Lost Word in a situation like a tactical RPG. No, it doesn't stop us from creating it, but you understand what I mean when I say, like, they have all these cool ideas, but they don't go anywhere with them, right? And that makes you want to see it, but nobody really wants to dive too much into those themselves, so I wish they would just dive into it while they're making it. So I was thinking, like, what if you had a Fire Emblem game, right? What if you had a Fire Emblem type of game, a tactical RPG, with, like, where the characters, because, you know, like, the Outer Realms that have, like, where all the DLC takes place, and Fates and Awakening and whatnot. So you jump universes like that. And usually the theme of Fire Emblem is, you know, it's an overall arcing battle, a big war, so to speak. So going to different areas and resolving the conflicts in a tactical RPG style would be kind of cool. Now, I know Keifu is Keifu. People have been kicked off the Discord for criticism since they don't want to listen. Well, I mean, I'm not on the Discord. They can't kick me off the platform. I'll put Sumireko. I'll put Sumireko in. I hate to do this, but I need her cut in. I gotta rank her up first. Like, I want 5 or so chapters explaining what's going on, like in that universe, right? Like, even like Fantasy Maiden Wars, right? Imagine a Fantasy Maiden Wars, again, tactical RPG situation where you're up against Vampire Hunter Flandre. Do you see that sword? Do you see that sword? That sword is giant, it's on fire, and it's got chains. Could you imagine the level of animation you could do to like have that shit be focused in an attack. Like Levoltane with that, like that sword, that'd be so fucking sick. But we're not gonna see that. No, you're better for it, trust me. The only reason I'm talking about it is because I'm not talking about the game itself. I'm talking about the characters in the universe that they create that they don't do anything with. And I'm saying how, like, I think it would be cool if the concepts from that Lost Word introduces would be used in a different, like, format. That's not what I'm looking for. Rank ups. The idea of Flandre, you know, because then you would be able to actually write the character to be a little more dramatic and more exploratory as to why she is in the situation she's in, right? Because again, it leads back to what happened to cause this. Is Remy okay? What if it's a universe where Sakuya actually is a vampire hunter, and she succeeded? Because I know a popular theory for Sakuya is that she was a vampire hunter who set out to defeat Remilia, but she was defeated by Remilia, and Remilia took a liking to her and took her in. So what if this was a universe where Sakuya actually did defeat Remilia and went on her way, and that caused Flandre to spur into action. And she became a vampire hunter to find the one who killed her sister. Now, maybe you don't think that's an interesting concept, but to me, that's something I've never seen done with those characters that I think could be done because those characters, the characters involved could fit the role nicely. That would be cool. That's a cool idea. But we're not going to really see anything with that, right? I said it before, like, Touhou characters are always portrayed, you know, they're portrayed as squishy and cutesy 9 times out of 10. But a lot of what they're based on and whatnot, they can definitely have aspects to them that make them more mature and horrifying and scary and stuff like that. But those aren't often explored, which is a shame because it's cool when they are. Like Infection, for example. I have to use this, right? I think Infection is cool because its design portrays the series. It portrays the series and its characters in a way that's like, oh yeah, I could see those characters being like that because they are yokai and they're pretty sinister. Even though Reimu's the scariest thing in that game nowadays. But you know what I mean, right? Like if you saw Wagasaki Hime, Medicine, Flandre, and Kogasa in a piece of fan art, odds are they're gonna be, you know, they're gonna be having fun and enjoying things, and you're gonna have a moment where it's like, oh, that's cute, and like, you're not really gonna care about what it is that they are. You're just gonna see cute characters, and that's fine, because I'm right there with that as well. But when you look at it from the perspective of like Infection, it's like, okay, you got the scary vampire lady, the Karakase Obake, not Obaka. The poison possessed doll, which is a scary concept in general, mind you, and the mermaid. Well, I mean, a mermaid's not really scary, but sirens are scary if you're a sailor, I suppose. But okay, but my point, yeah. What am I even saying anymore? Dungeon info: 5 gods and clear. Okay, well I'll be fine then. Moses Miracle. Okay. Yeah, alternate times to get more serious portrayals of characters is a good idea. See, that's what I'm saying, yeah? That's what I'm saying. That's what's really cool about it. Because I like when Touhou is cutesy and non, I like Touhou when it's cutesy and not, like, super serious. I like that aspect. I like when characters can just get along and, you know, the biggest conflict the character will have is that somebody ate their pudding out of the fridge, right? Like, I don't mind that. I really don't mind that because I'm a sucker for a slice of life, but I think a lot of characters are capable of being really fucking cool. Sakuya is one of them. Sakuya is a character who... Oh, you're my friend. The idea of Sakuya as a vampire hunter is super cool, and I mean we've seen what she looks like in Touhouvania. Like, she definitely fits the aesthetic well, and she has a lot of tools and abilities that would make her look really cool, and she has a very good... She has an air of elegance to her as well. Like, she's a cool character through and through. But in Touhou, she's still pretty cool, but you can't deny there's definitely a little bit of a silly nature to her, as there are with all characters. Maybe it's just the portrayal of the art style more than anything. Hard to say for sure. Alright, everybody stay there. I have to explore over here. As long as I'm in the wall, they don't move from their spot. And I can check everything. Amazing, right? Alright. There's fan art of tons of characters that have, like, can be done well. I mean, not even, like, counting Advent Chirno, for example. Even Chirno could be cool. Chirno's often portrayed as a goofball, through and through. But Chirno's abilities can definitely take it to an extent where she would actually use them in a real fight, and it would be pretty sick. Because the thing about Touhou, remember, is that none of the fights that ever take place in universe are really of any consequence or serious, like, severity. That's the whole purpose of the spell card system, right? Is so characters can all fight on even plane, even though it's like the characters are a bit insane power-wise. And characters can kind of be insane power-wise in the series because they don't actually use those powers to fight. It's not like Dragon Ball Z, right? Dragon Ball Z has characters with insane powers and they're expected to fist fight. Whereas in Touhou, there's characters with insane, unexplainable bullshit powers, but they're not expected to actually fight with them. Simply use those abilities as a basis for their spell cards, or their danmaku. But danmaku can't be, like, impossible to solve, right? Because, like, you kind of get a taste of Yuka as a character in Touhou 9. And there are reasons like the characters in the, like, the Lunarians, for example, Yorihime and Toyohime, like, they're really strong characters, so they don't show up. They don't really show up in the games because they're too strong, but they also wouldn't really play by the danmaku rules as well, I suppose. I guess the idea, I don't really know why Kaguya and Eren play by it, and Sagume is testing the player character, and so that explains her. But it's like, when you do the danmaku with Yuka, Yuka's not the one who is experiencing, like, just, like, battle wear, you know? When you win a fight and somebody's been, like, their clothes are basically destroyed and that's it. Maybe they have a scratch or something. But Yuka's not the character in that position when you win against her. You are. So, Yuka is a character who is extremely strong, and we know that she's strong from that. Same with the fighting game characters, minus Sumireko. Like, maybe not so much Iku, but Tenshi is definitely a strong character, and we know that Suika is a very strong character because she's an Oni. Same with Yugi. Like, when Yugi uses her danmaku, it's at a level of a stage 3 boss, but she's fucking Yugi, right? Yugi is, like, canonically the strongest character in the series based on pure physical ability. She's tough stuff for sure. But that raw physical strength doesn't really come into play when it comes to danmaku. It's the same with Mei Ling. Mei Ling's danmaku is not really as, like, refined or dangerous as, like, Remilia's or Sakuya's. Sakuya uses her time stop ability to amplify hers for sure, but Mei Ling is a character who specializes in martial arts, right? But martial arts doesn't really matter in danmaku play. Like, you could definitely, if it was actually like a fight, a one-on-one fight, Mei Ling would definitely be one of the strongest characters for sure. With her raw strength and technique. But she's definitely a character who would do better in that situation than in a danmaku duel, right? There are not a lot of characters who I'd say are physically orientated. That I can think of off the top of my head, of course. Like, Remilia, well, I mean, Remilia and Flandre don't count because they can go either way. Remilia and Flandre both most likely have astronomical physical strength. Similar to that of Suika, but maybe not so much as Yugi. I mean, if Yugi has more than Suika, then they definitely don't. But because of the vampire's nature of being some form of Oni, they would, like, it's fair to assume that Remy and Flan are definitely capable of insane feats of physical strength, despite their size suggesting otherwise. But they also, like, Remilia has an air of elegance to her, so she would refine her danmaku in a way that she has, and you know, it's a little It's a little chuny, but that's okay. That's how Remy does it, right? And even Flandre's danmaku, it's not as like elegant, I suppose, as it's not as elegant as her sister's, but she doesn't know how to hold back, so it's mostly just like extreme. But it still follows the rules because it's a game first and foremost. You can't really have an in-universe explanation as to why every character follows the rules because it's a game, they have to follow the rules. So that's okay. But yeah, like Remy and Flandre are both very strong. But based on how the extra stage plays out, you would assume that Flandre is the stronger of the two of them. And you know, that might actually be the case. But Remy is a character who would know how to hold back in a fight. Whereas Flandre really doesn't. So Flandre put more of her strength on full-on display. Hello, Quack. Nice to meet you. I'm the Cyber Original Kawakuma. Little Devil isn't much of a name, but I never had one in the first place. Oh. For a variety of reasons, I was never given a real name, so feel free to call me Kawakuma. Anyway, I'm looking forward to working with you. Thanks. Didn't one of the written works say the villagers even go to the SDM to test their strength against mailing? I don't remember that, but it sounds like something that would be written in one of Aya's articles. Where's Is Koishiko invisible? Where is she? And I guess if you want to look at it, from like an in-game perspective as well, like Lunatic Remy versus Extra Stage Flan, Remy is definitely the harder of the two of them for sure. Which could definitely show like the way I see it, every character's lunatic patterns is like a character's the true extent of a character's strength. But at the same time, like early stage characters, oh, I see her. Early stage characters hold back anyway because they have to. But that does that mean that a character like Wriggle is not capable of using more than like 2 spell cards? How exactly does it work? Like, we know that Sakuya has like 1,000,000 spell cards, but she still only uses 3 of them in her fight. Why do the extra stage bosses use like 11 spell cards? There are hearts in her eyes. Look at that, she's got heart pupils. I've been watching this whole time and it looks so fun. I want to be your partner. You get a squeaky voice. I'm the Cyber Original Koishi Komeiji. You don't have to give me an answer. I'll probably just follow you unconsciously anyway. It gets weird when you start thinking about it from the idea of it all being like a video game, right? Because the rules of the video game don't always dictate the rules of the world. But it's cool when they try to at least explain why the game works the way they do in the real universe, which is kind of how the danmaku system really works and the spell card system works for it. Like, the spell card rules and the fighting with the spell cards is an in-universe thing because it was decided in-universe that all conflict will be resolved in this manner as it is, which is, you know, that's great. But it doesn't explain everything because it can't really cover every single basis. It just doesn't work. It's impossible to one-to-one everything as to why universe works the way to its game mechanics, but I do appreciate that the main one, the spell card system, is explained. To as much as it can be, of course. My power's on the rise, go rank me with the gear station. You can't play favorites, you know. Make sure to give each of your companions an equal share of your love. Ha 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 ha, good one. I'll help you too, so let's give the recruiting our all. Please be sure to tell me all your best points. Enemies with recovery skills are pretty troublesome. If you spot one, maybe you should prioritize taking them out. Apparently, in the outside world, there's a race of people called normies who are prone to outbursts. Was Mistress Patchouli a normie all along? What? Don't get careless just because you can't see me, you know. Answering your summons, executing my role, that's what devils are all about. That was out of left field. Hold on, I'm gonna make a team 2 here and just fill it with the characters. I'm gonna fill it with the characters that I'm getting, so I can just get them. Holy shit, she's adorable. But I will put Tenchi on the team for now. Skills. Maybe I should buy another set of skill cards here. Let me see. Let me see. Super toss support. Super bullet. Super stone toss support. Revenges. Teachings of confusion. Hysterical strength. Grants adversity to the team. Healing boost. Level grinding trick. Anticipating attacks. Inflicting sleep 101. Adds a fixed chance for your target. Oh, that sounds great. Growth material. Increase the rate materials. Drop. Yes. Deep secret to more damage reduction. Deep secret to more damage. Explosion super body. Startle barriers. Double speed barriers. Reduce damage taken from double speed. 30%. That's kind of insane, actually. Super strong barriers, float barriers, more danmaku damage, ends on armor slaying, super strong slaying. Secret to more. These are really good. I can't, like... When attacked by an opponent, you have a chance to get them the insane effect. Oh, that's also really... Jesus, dude. Like... Fuck, I don't even know what, I don't know what's good. I don't know what's good. But I want to put on this. Sleep counter. Growth up. Damage reduction, additional damage. Blast suit. I want to upgrade blast suit and double speed barriers. So let's do that. Those are like really good cards. I don't know which ones are like super good and worth grinding up though. I feel power flowing from inside of me. Oh, because you rank me at the gear station. I act unconsciously, you know, it isn't controlling yourself so hard. You should recruit a few companions who like to try the harder dungeons. I join you because you seem interesting. If you turn out boring, I might unconsciously wander off. Invisible enemies can be scary, huh? Don't worry, you can see them even if you use eye drops. You should think carefully before you act. You'll get hurt if you act on unconscious instinct like me. Some items you can pick up just by going near them. Isn't it neat just magically finding more items in your inventory? Well, I mean, yeah, sure. But it only happens in certain situations. Hold on. Most of it looks good, yeah. I can't decide. So I guess I'll just roll with what I got for now. So I guess, what was I talking about? I was talking about, right, characters and stuff. And Lost Word has cool concepts that I wish were explored. Nemo, no. Use a slumber card twice and clear. Alright, I gotcha. There are, what do you call it? There are aspects that I think would be very cool to see. A universe, as I mentioned... Like a universe, as I mentioned, one where Sakuya succeeded in her apparent mission. That's a neat concept that you could work with. Do I have 2 sleep cards? Okay. Just gotta use them twice. That's fine. There are all kinds of other ones as well. Like, I mean, I'm sure there could be... What if there's a universe where the spell card rules never came into place, right? A Gensokyo like that. Because that's how Gensokyo used to be. And there's been stories and stuff about pre-spell card rules Gensokyo, and it's not a very... It's obviously not a very nice place. That much is for certain. But the Gensokyo of nowadays is a lot nicer because things like that have been taken care of. The conflict between humans and yokai still exists, but it exists in a non-violent manner now, which results in, you know, a better relationship between them. Whereas you wouldn't always expect it to be that way, or it could not be that way. So what if there was a universe where the spell card rules never came into play, huh? A universe where something that the events that lead to it don't happen, or something happens prior to someone like Reimu. Imagine a Gensokyo where Reimu does not exist. How would that work? Alright, well there's Sumireko's cut in. Same artist as Suiko and Kaneko. There you go. A Gensokyo without a certain character appearing in it, how much of an impact would it have? A character like Reimu is a big deal, because she's the Hakude Shrine Maiden. Now, obviously, that doesn't mean that we wouldn't have a different Hakude Shrine Maiden, but would that Shrine Maiden be the same way as Reimu, right? It's Reimu's nature and decisions that led to the spell cards system being the way it is, right? What if the new Miko wasn't as accepting or as accommodating to those kinds of ideals? What would that look like? Now, you can play What If all day, obviously. You can play What If all day in that manner. What if character but dead, right? Like it's a concept you can think of. Is that the whole plot? I can see the conclusion. I think so. To be honest, I don't remember. I genuinely don't remember how that game went because it was something I checked out like when I was like new to it all. Gensokyo's scientific advancement is mostly in part to the fact that Kaneko is shown up in Gensokyo. So I wonder what Gensokyo would look like. Wow. Her art is kind of sinister, but it's good. If the Moria Shrine never showed up, how would things look? If the Moria Shrine didn't show up, then the Yatagarasu would never have been consumed by Oku. So Oku would never have done that because they wouldn't. Because the whole point of the nuclear power came from Kaneko, but then the strength of the Yatagarasu was so much that it kind of made Oku a little bit. Kind of made her go a little bit extreme, which in turn caused Orin to launch a geyser and explode earth spirits that were trapped below into the surface to get the attention of the surface dwellers to do something about it, which in turn led to the events of Touhou 12 because some of those spirits that were launched out of that geyser were Hijudi's followers, who then orchestrated a plan to release her from her binding. So when you think of it like that, if the Moria Shrine never showed up in Gensokyo, Oku would still exist, but connections with the underground would pretty much be non-existent still, unless a different reason came up. And Hijudi would not exist either, because no one has gone out of their way to go get her, so to speak. Maybe the UFO crew, if relations with underground changed in a different format, it would have all happened a different way, but the end result would have been the same anyway. Oh, actually, I forgot to mention, the reason why Miko woke up is because of Byakuten. So, the events of 10 through 13 are all caused by each other. Touhou 13, the Divine Spirit Mausoleum was underground, and it was in like it was in a state of like stasis or something like that. The reason that those characters woke up when they did is because when Byakuten was deciding where to put down the Myoden Temple, she found an area that was like reeking of power, which would be where the Divine Spirit Mausoleum was. So Byakuten placed the Myoden Temple above the source of that energy in a way to suppress it and stop it from, coming to fruition, which, as a result, actually like amplified something and caused them all to awaken anyway. So Byakuten's direct interference in that regard. Had Miko and the gang wake up. Now, that's not to say that they wouldn't have woken up eventually anyway, but her actions are a direct cause. Her actions are a direct cause to the events of 13 happening when they did. Now the thing is, I don't know how long it would have taken until they woke up, but Yoshika was there. There's an interview, I believe it's in Bohemian, not in Bohemian. What the fuck? Maybe it's in, I don't remember what it's in. But I remember there being mention of Yoshika like existing in the graveyard, kind of before the events of 10 Desires happened. Like she was waiting for somebody in the graveyard, which is why she was just standing there. But I can't remember the details. There's probably symposium of post-mysticism, because the thing is, this obviously had to happen when 10 Desires had come out, because Yoshika wasn't a character until then. But the events in question were happening prior to 10 Desires happening, because Yoshika was there waiting for someone to show up, because that was her orders. The early awakening didn't screw anything up, no. It just woke them up and they were like, what the fuck? Also, I should note that that's also the reason Mamizo is in Gensokyo. Because that whole event happened and Nue, who had come up with the other ones, wanted to do something to help. So she went back to the outside world and found her old friend Mamizo as a way to like assist against the anti-yokai faction. But by the time she shows up and Mamizo shows up, it's already taken care of. So you just have a grand slam with her instead. So that's not to say Mamizo wouldn't have shown up on her own eventually, because you know the outside world was becoming an inhospitable place for yokai in general. You're stronger than you look, ain't ya? The name's Nemuru Sakata, Cyber Original. I'm not the type to get involved with strangers, but strong folk are up my alley. Yeah. Guess leaving my turf once in a while ain't so bad. She's a country granny. I'll be joining your crew if you don't mind. I don't think it's too bad. I could picture it being deeper, but I guess softer granny is still fine. I was reading something there. I don't remember what it was. I was saying something. Shit. Right, Touhou 18, that's what I saw. Touhou 18, Kaneko is not directly involved in the card market, but I'm pretty sure she ends up getting involved after the fact. Because the whole plot is like Tsukasa and Izunomaru's scheme, right? But Kaneko's on the mountain as well, and I guess they just orchestrate the deal. Remember, they didn't tell Sanai about it. Sanai was left in the dark about that. But odds are that whole fiasco still would have happened, even if the Moria Shrine wasn't there. Now, it's possible that the events of 17.5 could have been a little different, because Kaneko had nothing in there. I forgot to use the slumber cards. Whoops. Hold on. I forgot to use the slumber cards. Think I got even stronger rear gear station. Gonna be living here for now, and I'll be cleaning your bedroom. Recruitment for you recruits a lot of partners. Never thought I'd be looking after someone else. Status effects could be good or bad. Make sure you cure one bad one's lickety split. 3-step finisher is a real powerful attack that can hit everybody. When you see the word destroy come up, watch out. Cure 14 is how you get anywhere adventure, and it ain't really my thing though. Alright. New dungeons. My first errand. Sorry. Sorry. Okay. Time to go. See you later. Let's make this quick. I completely forgot I got sidetracked with my own conversations. Well, Nemeno doesn't live in a valley. She lives on a mountain. She lives deep in the mountains. Yamamba. Flandre did in fact squeeze a meteor to prevent it from falling on the SDM, yes. If a meteor had fallen on the SDM, things would have been real bad. How big was the meteorite in question, though, right? Was that meteorite... How much of the world was going to be leveled by that meteorite? That's quite an event, though, huh? Like, Aya just casually writes in her article, like, hey, a meteor was falling on the STM, and Flandre squeezed it and destroyed it before it crashed. Lunarians don't control meteorites. They live on the moon. They wouldn't throw a meteorite at Earth. That's just how it happened. But there are a lot of different events like that you can be like, you know, if this character didn't exist, this event wouldn't happen. But I think it's interesting to think about ones that have chain reactions, like in Kaneko's situation. Kaneko coming to Gensokyo was definitely a big like chain reaction of events that started shaping Gensokyo in a different way, especially with the scientific advancement that she's aiming for from her knowledge of of modern times, the outside world. Because a lot of yokai, a lot of characters in Gensokyo are from a time before, like a time before that, right? The characters who don't know what happened before the barrier was constructed were all born in Gensokyo, and all the characters that know about the time before the order was constructed are over a century old. Back when Gensokyo had seas, as they say. So, Kaneko, Suiko, and Sanai all come from essentially a decade ago in terms of outside world progress, which is a lot more. A decade is a lot closer to current year than it is than a fucking century, and then some, right? So the advancements of the outside world are slowly being brought into Gensokyo by the Moriya's hand. I guess you can kind of think of it like Konosuba, how in Konosuba it's a fantasy world, right? But the convenience options of the world we live in, like the world Kazuma is from, he makes a profit off of that, right? He sells the rights to them, and then he makes a fat profit like that, which makes sense when you think about it, right? Like when you're from another world, ooh, you get to do this thing where, you know, you bring in your old you bring in the convenience or commodity that nobody knows about yet, and then you profit off it because you are the discoverer now, right? That kind of knowledge lets you gets you some kind of benefit like that. Gensokyo is made to escape modernization, right? Not quite, but yes. The reason for Gensokyo's creation is because humans were believing less in yokai in general. And because the thing about yokai is yokai exist and are born of unexplainable phenomenon, right? Things like that. And when you're scared of the unknown, the humans create a yokai as like an explanation for it. That's how they. I guess that's how. It's fair to say that's how they cope in that situation. Oh. That's how they cope with that. But as time went on, those kind of phenomenon became explained in a more like explanatory way. Common sense, essentially. I can't think of an example, unfortunately, but the idea is like how if something happened in my house right now, like if my light just went out and it went dark in my house, well, I would assume that, oh, my power went out, oh, my light bulb died, right? That makes perfect sense, but I guess it's like if it kept happening, it would be like, oh, it's faulty wiring, or it's like there's something wrong with the lamp itself, right? You see how I'm constantly thinking of reasons as to why it's happening? But, you know, back then, and by I say back then, I mean like, you know, back in the era of yokai, it's like that kind of thing would be explained as the yokai are doing it, right? The yokai of fuck your lamp in general kind of deal. And yokai are given form based on the belief of the fears of humans, that kind of thing. Kappa doing science is killing the Kappa. Well, no, that's not killing the Kappa at all. There's nothing wrong with the technological advancements. It's the idea that people are finding more explanations as to why things are happening outside of a yokai did it. And because of that, people are believing less and less in yokai's existence, which in turn makes them weaker. Because if a yokai is not believed to exist, they cease to exist. It's one of those situations. Fun one, right? Yokai do not exist if no human is around to fear them. So that's why the human village in Gensokyo is constructed the way it is. It's constructed in a way that humans will fear yokai, so they stay alive. So the human village is very out of the times for this exact situation. If the human village became more modern in the sense of our world with like common sense, then yokai life would be in extreme danger. Gods are similar in that they need faith rather than fear, which is why the Morias left as well, because faith was dwindling, because not a lot of people believe in that kind of stuff as much as they used to anymore. Like, it used to be, faith used to be a lot stronger, but now it's, I think some people see it more as like, they don't take it seriously, even though they still participate in it, you know what I mean? And remember, Gensokyo basically came into form about 100 or so years ago at this point. Wow, I do not have many of those vestiges. I hope I have enough to upgrade you. No, I don't, because I don't have enough echoes. How do I not have enough echoes? Koishi! God damn it. They can have all the technology and modern advancements of the outside world, but as long as the humans still fear them, they will continue to exist. It's just that the era in which Gensokyo was formed was 100 years ago, so obviously it's not as technologically advanced as the outside world currently is, right? But the Morias are slowly introducing that kind of thing into Gensokyo. I mean, they got nuclear power, so that's one thing. Alright. Let's see. Everything seems good to me. So what's next? In this dungeon, you'll halt race and gather herbs. Gather kapalchi, gymneminia, eucalyptus, cinnamon, and stevia. Clear the dungeon after collecting all 5, and you'll recruit racing. Don't miss the wandering recruitable side original while you're there. Someone's wandering in a dungeon. Bunny. Gather 5 medicinal herbs and talk to Udong at floor 7. Upon reaching the Moria Shrine, Snai intervenes in a fight between 2 deities. It's called with Aki's guidance. This is the lunatic moon rabbit. Use a luster sign, room of light card, and a tunnel gap. I don't know if I even have a tunnel gap anymore, dude. Luster sign, room of light. I do. I have 1 tunnel gap. Alright. It's a bit harder. Well, it wants me to use, I know what it wants from me. So I'm just gonna cheat a little bit, I suppose. Gonna cheat a little bit. Yes. Lost Bamboo Thicket. Wow, that was nice. I like this music. I'll just bring Yuko with me. That way you can go through walls and stuff. Slimy thing, fabric softener. I a fan. Just gotta use it, right? Oh my god. Wow. This is like phenomenal bamboo forest music. Wow. Yeah, I love this track. Holy shit. This is really good. Something about the eerie nature of the chorus, the chanting, kind of reminds me of Forest Temple to an extent. It's very, I don't know the best way to describe it, but it's definitely got a little bit of sinister nature to it, but also one that I can definitely like feel would fit the environment of this place, since this place is definitely one that you get lost in. This is a dangerous place to be lost in. I don't want to leave the dungeon anymore. I guess I could just hope the music stays the same way. God, Yuko is so convenient. I haven't heard his mix of that one. I really like, I like chanting. Chanting in songs, like, it's one of my favorite things. I actually really like a ton of the Dark Souls OST. Like from the first game as a result, because the chanting and like all the boss fights and stuff, just, it's so good. And then this part here. Holy shit. This is so good. Alright, bye everybody. I'm leaving. Oh. Yes. Me, Yuko. Me, break rule. Rule breaker. Choir is the best instrument. Like, no cap though. No cap. Like, it can be really good when it's done well. Like, Zelda uses it sometimes. Twilight Princess uses it. It just has so much impact, the reverb on the voices, because they're not really singing, right? They're not really singing, but the vocal accompaniment is like, it wouldn't be the same without it. It's one of those things that I can't think of like a single example of it not being used in a way that I didn't find like phenomenal. Again, this track right here is just, okay, so chat, you know when you listen to a song and it sends a shiver down your spine? That is what this track has done to me. If a song can send a chill down my spine, then I consider it a good song. It's a song that I can listen to on loop for a long time, because it actually, it incites like a physical reaction from my body, which is a weird thing, but I know I'm not alone on this, right? Like, I'm sure, have you ever heard a song that ever did that to you? Those are the songs that I prefer to listen to on loop. Now, there are a ton of songs. There are a ton of songs that I can listen to and be like, that's good, but if a song really hits me, it causes an emotional reaction. Snai. I can't think of one. Well, I mean, I can. That one did it for me. One of my favorite songs, if not my favorite song in the entirety of anything, is Anna from Clannad. It's 8 minutes long, and I've been listening to it for like a decade now. Snai. See Rayson over there? She's another cyber original. Rayson, the rabbit that lives in Aente? That's right. Rayson Udongen Inaba. I'd certainly like to recruit her. Okay, you know what? This is gonna be a meme, But you know in Metal Gear Rising, when you're doing the first chapter, and you're fighting the Metal Gear Ray, and you get to the QTE event, and Rules of Nature just explodes on you. Holy shit, dude. That melts me. Like, straight up. That melts me. It's such a good fade-in. I'd certainly like to recruit her. Let's talk with her now. And they're up when the sun comes up, with the lives on the line. Bunny. I want to play that game. Chat, let me know when that game goes on sale. When's the next Steam sale? I want to play that game again. Not that. Not this. Rei-sen. Eat. The summer sale will be next. When's that? Summer sale in a month or two. Where did you come from? You scared the living daylights out of me. Sorry about that. Fine, apology accepted. So who are you? Oh right, we haven't met before in this world. Hello there, I'm Sanae Kochiya, player in this game. So you're the one. Why is Rei-sen so small in this game? Like, Jesus Christ. She's like Tay-sized. It's weird. Like I mean, I'd still say she's probably a little bit bigger than Tay, but she's not as big as I think she should be. Is there something I can do for you? Well, actually. And so, exposition dump. And that's the long and short of it. Chad, I love the bunny mouth. The bunny mouth trope. The triangle mouth. Because it's not a chestnut mouth. It's not chestnut. But it's like, it's partially chestnut, but it's not chestnut. You know what I mean? It's got that little triangle. So you want me to join your party? Exactly. It's not every day that a player calls out to you personally. I'd love to join. Really, I would, but... Is there a reason you can't? The thing is, I'm not done with this errand my master sent me on yet. I'm searching for medicinal herbs to use in medicines, and I'm just not having any luck. Then I'll help. Really? You do that? Well, not for nothing. Chad, I'm just realizing, how fucking far down does her hair go? Like, look at that. Now, every character in the game has one exaggerated portion of them. For Rei-sen, it's not her ears. It's not her backpack. It's her goddamn hair. It looks like she could just step on it and trip over it. Could you imagine having hair so long that you go to like walk and your foot's on it, so you just pull your head back and then fall backwards? Jesus. Rei-sen Bunzel. It's good. That's good. It seems like more than a fair offer to me. Are you sure about this? Absolutely. There's no takesies backsies with living. Gods. Oh. Is that a fact? In that case, I'll take you up on that. Great, just leave it to me. What herbs are you looking for? There we go. I know Raisin has long hair, but like the way her hair looks there, it's like completely obscuring that massive backpack, and it looks like it is just not gonna stop past her shins. Like, it's so long. What herbs are you looking for? I'd have to see the full body art or something. Does it really go down to her socks and IN? And I'm just not remembering this? Hold on. You see, let me click this. Holy shit. Wow. That's so... Dude. That's so goddamn long. Also, I'm just noticing now that all of her Vocaloid outfits were scrapped except for the Miku one. She has a Kaguya alt, though. A Kaguya alt. She's got one that tries to make it look like she's wearing her blazer, but it's just not putting her blazer on. Just put the blazer on, man. I don't recognize, like, any of the other ones, really. The Kaguya one's very, very obvious. I feel like the one next to it, to the left, is as a reference as well. The one in the middle, the third one, looks like it's just a summer uniform. And I don't know about the green one. Kind of reminds me of Utsu, but I think it's just because I see green. And I don't know about the fifth one. Alternate outfits and figuring out what they're based on is fun. I like that. Indie games tend to do that as well. They tend to take more creative. They tend to be more like allowing of referential palettes. Pretty sure Big Band in Skullgirls has a DDD outfit. I'll need 5 herds: Kolpachi, Jim, Eucalyptus, Cinnamon, Stevia. So here's the POV one, her POV player 2 alt. I don't know, it'd be cool to see a video that just goes over every single, like what every single palette is. I've seen one like that for a Smash character before. Just going over all the different palettes and what they're referencing. Cause I like seeing the references. And I might not always get them. Some of them are obviously like really obvious. Like Hazama has a Joker outfit in Blaze Blue. It's super obvious. But not every one of them is like turbo obvious to me. They're all valuable herbs around these parts, so you might have a hard time finding them. The top right one, Junko. I don't think so. Again, there's only so many things you can do to change the color to match them, right? Like the Kaguya one is perfect. But like, I feel like the shade of red isn't enough to say Junko, but the long blonde hair and like the black top, I can see why you would say Junko. But I can't with 100% certainty say like, ah, that's Junko. But I see where you're coming from, I do. Peacock has a Cherno alt? Really? Wow. Skullgirls has quite a number of what referential costumes. I can't think of any of the top of my head though, but I know there was quite a few of them. Yeah, Sakuya does have a Dio palette, and Yomu has a palette. Yomu had a palette that makes her look like Silver Chariot. Like there are Jobo's references. Seems like this is going to be harder than I expected. I'll give you the information I've got. Let's split up and find them. I'll go look over here. You can check that area there. Alright, will do. We can meet up again afterwards. Well, the thing is, at this point, everybody knows tunnel gaps can be used. Cool. Nice. At this point, everybody is aware of the similarities between Dio and Sakuya. It's one of those things that is like very, very well known, right? Oh, you son of a bitch. Well, that's fine, I guess. It's number 9 too. Ah, see? Skullgirls is pretty cool. Skullgirls is an unfortunate example of why you need like a big budget behind your fighting game to keep people playing it and being able to have tournaments and stuff. It's really a shame. Skullgirls is a phenomenal game. It looks good, it plays good, it's full of cool ideas, but you can't really it's an it's like an indie game, right? It's not like Capcom where they can invest like thousands of dollars into tournaments and the Pro Tour, right? You just can't do that. You can't do that for Skullgirls the way you can for like Street Fighter V. As a result, even though the game is still really good, the game is phenomenal. It's hard to retain attention to it compared to other games, right? Colpachi Eucalyptus. They look the same. Okay. Alright. She does have a spell card called the World, yes. It's not hard to figure out why people assume that she is the way that she has, you know, there are references to Dio. It ain't rocket science. But I'm just saying that of like all characters, of all the characters you could explain to somebody in Touhou, if you explain Sakuya, somebody who has seen JoJo's would immediately think, oh, she's like Dio. And it's like, yeah. But everybody is fully aware of that. There's nothing wrong with that, though. Dio's a pretty well-known character. He's a good villain. I like him. This is like the only dungeon with a back staircase. I need to find 5 different things. I have 2 of them. Okay. It's indie and fighting game. I'm not sure what you mean by that exactly, but the point I was trying to make is that fighting games that can, you know, fund their tournaments have a better shot at surviving. Gymnia. So Skullgirls can still get played and stuff, but it's never going to be like a main stage event, so to speak, you know? It's not going to pull crazy numbers on audience, it's not going to pull crazy numbers on attendance. Not like games, because Street Fighter is a game that you can legitimately like make money if you do good. And good Street Fighter to play, good Street Fighter is fun to watch. Like, I mean, like I'm pretty sure the Pro Tour is like $1 million prize pool, so that's a lot of fucking money. By being good at a fighting game, right? Smash doesn't have nearly that much money as Capcom, but it still has like Smash still has enough of a backing in a scene that it can be profitable, right? Because traveling is expensive. Traveling to tournaments is expensive. You can't be doing that every single week, right? You need money for that. That's an expensive hobby at that point. So there needs to be a bit of a give back to it for the people who, you know, actually like win the tournaments. Alright. Esport, please. The benefits of Street Fighter V Abigail's existence. First of all, I'm pretty sure that character isn't as bad as he used to be. Pretty sure that character isn't too bad anymore. But he was definitely a character, I'll give you that. Oh. That's the last one I need? Yeah, it is. It's all stevia. Alright, job done. I'm bringing home the rare plants. We eating good tonight. Alright. Also, if a character becomes truly bad, they get taken care of, right? Street Fighter is a game that updates, after all, with different seasons. Where's... Hi, where's Sanai? I left her. Huh. So how do these look? I think that should just about cover what I need. Oh, what a relief. Thanks for doing that. You're not used to it, so I imagine it wasn't easy. Yes, well. Do you usually do this sort of thing, Raisin? Haha, hardly. Today is an exception. What? Isn't one of the things of the Horai elixir that you cannot get sick? You see, Lady Kagi is feeling under the weather. Oh no, will she be okay? Yes. My master will use these herbs to make her some medicine. Eva, yes, actually. Way back when they basically had a competition for which game made the most money for charity to which one would get into the Evo rotation. And the battle was between Skullgirls and Super Smash Bros. Melee. And I don't need to tell you which one of them won. But that is a piece of fighting game history right there. Melee fought for its spot at Evo, and then subsequently complained about Melee at Evo every year following. Ba-ba-ba-bam! Once she takes that, she'll be back up in no time. Eren is so dependable. Now I just have to deliver these herbs and my job will be done. Thanks again for the help. Think nothing of it. It's all part of the recruiting process. Oh, right, I promised that, didn't I? Bunny. If you need my help, feel free to reach out to me anytime. I'll come running. I'm always happy to help. Alright, I'll be glad to have you. There's no E3 this year, chat. Did you know that? Instead, Jeff Keighley is doing a Summer Games show, which I guess is going to be E3. I don't know why E3 isn't happening this year, by the way. I don't actually know what caused that. I don't really care that much either, to be honest with you. But, like, at the same time, I still would have liked some kind of, like, thing for show-off games, right? I only ever cared about what Nintendo was showing off, and their E3 performance is just a direct that shows up. So I never really cared that much these last couple years. I think it's better understanding my master teachings to rank people at the gear station. I'll do my best to help keep myself useful around here. Side originals are scattered across lots of different dungeons. Thanks for helping me with my errand. My master's cure-all instantly cures all status ailments. Some foods and talismans can also recover statuses. Check your things if you don't have any medicine. You never know, right? If you run into a cyber enemy version of me, close your eyes, okay? Wouldn't want you to get charmed by my lunatic eyes. By the way, that's actually how Raisin's ability works. Raisin's ability hits in a line of sight, but it only works if you're actually facing the character. If you're not facing her when she does her ability, it does not hit you. I don't think the game's really clear on telling you that, but it is something that I have learned. Okay. Wait, she didn't even take the herbs. Whatever, now I have them. Yeah, E3 is kind of falling apart. Because, well, it stopped being about the games, right? It used to just be all about the games. And now it's like, it's just like this big PR showboating nonsense. I don't even know what the fuck's going on with it anymore. I mean, we've watched the Game Awards. I hate like everything about the Game Awards, but they actually show things now, so they're worth watching, and to that extent. But literally everything but the trailers for new games are like they're just a headache or a heartache, one of the two. Maybe it's both. Maybe that's just indigestion. No, I'm pretty sure it's the game. It's all your fault. Alright. 5 hours of commercials. Essentially, yes. But the thing is, like, those commercials are world premieres for new games coming the next year, which I think is still pretty exciting. I mean, hell, Sephiroth and Joker both got shown off at the game shows, or the game awards for 2 years. Like, that was pretty cool. Having them open with fucking Sephiroth coming to Smash, like, that's insane, right? Modern E3 is even more corporate than a meeting, especially about corporations presenting games. I guess so, yeah. It's something that happened for so long that it eventually turned into what it is. Where is Bunny? All the way over there. Bunny. 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 Okay. Sumireko. Join Yuko's team. Yes. Skills. Your skills need sharpening. Huh? Whatever. It's good enough. Okay. So what's next? Ah. Climax. Oh! Mountain. 3 udon types. Wait, what? Defeat at least 3 udon types. Dismantle 3 items and clear. Defeat no partners defeated. Alright. Sure. Let's go. Pop. Hina and Minariko. Still need the cut-ins. Need the cut-ins from Kawakama, Reisen, and... Still need the cut-ins from Kawakama and Reisen. Timely. Didn't even get to finish my sentence. Okay. Alright. Alright. Let's take a look around the mountain. What was I doing again? Dismantle 3 items. That'll be easy enough. Alright. Oh, wait. Oh, this is... Oh, back mountain, like behind the shrine, because this is EOSD Stage 1's theme. Oh. I was like, what is this theme? It's a nice mix of Ruma stage. I forget the name of the stage, I just remember the name of the theme, the boss theme. Apparitions stalk the night. But I don't remember the stage theme name. I'm not really good at stage names. Or stage themes. I'm better with boss themes. Because stage themes are fine, but I only really truly remember the ones. I only really truly remember the ones that I enjoy a lot. Whereas, where there's a lot of boss themes that I don't particularly care about, but I remember the name of them, or at least part of the name of them, enough to be identifiable. The soul is scarlet as a ground cherry. In the back of the mountain. Did you know Reimu? Reimu ranked up, not ranked up. When in the EOSD cross review and Strange Creators, Reimu ranked Rumia a 1 out of 10. Her comment was, some yokai at the back of the shrine. What was her name again? Whatever. Like, you know, that kind of hurt me. That hurt me a lot. But it's alright. I can make do. I'll survive. I'm not crying. That cross review is the only reason I learned that the stage 1 of EOSD took place behind the shrine. I never really thought about it before, to be fair. But I did not assume that stage 1 took place behind the shrine. That means when Reimu left to fuck up, when Reimu left to finally do her job, she just, like, went backwards from her home. And Rumia was just chilling back there. What was Ruma doing back there? It's behind the shrine, yeah. You go from behind the shrine to the Misty Lake. So I guess when you think about it, that means that the Misty Lake is the opposite direction of the Hakude Shrine, right? If Reimu decided to fly from fly around the back of her shrine to reach it. You know what's really funny about Rumia's art? Rumia's one piece of official Zun art is it just cuts out her lower torso and her arms. Like, now, other characters... No, other characters don't do that. Every other character has all of their pieces above the waist shown. But not Rumia. Rumia's arms just get cut off at the midway point, so she just looks like a T. But like, you know, Flandre's got her hand out, Rumilia's got her hands to her chest. Maybe it's just because her arms stretched so far out that it didn't work. But like, she's like the only character I can think of whose body gets cut off like that. Aside from the half body, I mean, a part above the waist that gets cut off. Everybody gets cut off at the waist. Everybody gets cut off at the waist. Anything over here? Ooh. Nice. Free stuff. You love to see free stuff. That's 3, right? 3, yep. Okay. Rumia's not the first suspect. They know who's doing it. Because Reimu actually didn't act upon the mist for about a week or so after it started happening. And they could see where the source of it was coming from. That's why they were heading in that direction. They were heading towards the source of the mist. Rumia wasn't a suspect, she just got in the way. As is what happens with a lot of characters in the early stages. They simply get in the way. And then they get beat up. There was an instance in the games where this was the case with the Stage 1 boss. And that was in 10 Desires. In 10 Desires, the game takes, Stage 1 takes place in the Netherworld, where you confront Yuyuko because the characters assume that it's her fault. Because it's like her domain. Her area of expertise, so they assume that she's the reason behind it. And then when you beat her, she directs the characters towards the graveyard of the human village. So you head there, and then you're at the Myoden Temple, and then you run into Kyoko, and Kyoko tells you that beating her won't change anything, you know. She's kind of right. And then you go to the graveyard, and then you go through the graveyard, and you end up in the underground tunnel, and then you end up at the Divine Spirit Mausoleum. So that's the order of progression for 10 Desires. It makes sense, though, why they would be in the Netherworld first. Because otherwise the plot would be like, hey, we're gonna play through PCB again, and then we're gonna play through 10 Desires in that order. 12 stages for 10 Desires. Could you imagine? When tensions get high during a grand scale incident, to a point where Reimu just beats up everybody because everybody's feeling it, I suppose. I don't really know. Imagine a boss shows up at some point and they're just like, I don't have anything to do with this, so we don't have to fight. And then your character's like, oh yeah, I guess we don't. And then the stage ends, but the stage doesn't actually end. A different character shows up and then they're the boss. But the games show that, I think secretly everybody's just looking to start shit because it's fun. Danmaku battles are fun, so they talk a big game so they could actually play. Cause you can't just go up to Reimu and be like, hey, you want a danmaku? She probably won't, like, do that. But if you show up in front of Reimu, I don't know what that does. If you show up in front of Reimu during an incident and be like, haha, I am a part of this, then she'll probably, you know, she'll probably fight you. Pretty sure the whole point with the 10 Desires cast, sorry, not 10 Desires, the DDC cast, was like Reimu had a reputation, and they were like, you know, it was kind of like exciting for them to do battle with the Hakude Shrine Maiden. And then, of course, one of the plot points in Genso is the 3 fairies want to befriend Reimu, but they don't know how to go about it. So they end up fucking with her and then challenging her to a fight, because they figure that everybody who challenges Reimu to a fight becomes friends with her afterwards. So their idea was to become friends with her was to get into a fight, get their ass kicked, and grow, I suppose. Oh, she spins. Crucible Cyber Original. Midoriko. No, come back. Midoriko. Bye. What the? Wild. Gotcha. Behold! I'm the Cyber Original, Minariko Aki. To be blunt, I'm a harvest god. What do you think, Autumn? You gotta think food, right? Together, let's find the taste of autumn. Alright. I kinda wanna reread Sengetsu Sei. The The more I think about it, I actually think Sengetsu is my second favorite written work. Forbidden Scrollery is still my favorite because I like the concept of it on top of the story and the characters. But I really do like Sengetsu a lot. Oh, there are traces of misfortune here too. Cyber original Hina Kagiyama. I ended up chasing after misfortune here. You're really misfortunate, you know. Not to worry. I'll be handling it from here on out. Hina seems like she'd be really annoying if she was a team leader because I never know which direction I'm facing. Maybe I can make her spin even faster. I don't really want to eat my food. Yeah, I'm kind of lazy. That's fine. Okay. Done. All the characters are friendly in Sengetsu, and it's so much nicer, other than Okina. Well, to be fair, Okina was part of, like, the actual plot, or idea of the plot in Sengetsu is pretty severe, like, pretty serious when you think about it, but everything about it is from the perspective of the fairies, so it's quite a lot of fun just to enjoy the lives of these fairies. But I also understand why, like, the tone of seriousness with the other characters around them is as it is. I think Okina was pretty justified in the way she delivered her line. But I do enjoy the rather less, like, serious nature of Sengetsu. Huh? Oh wait, I already... it says red. Ding, ding. Gear station, gear station! Everybody wants to go to the gear station. Through the faith of a people, my God's power has gone up. Go on, rank me for the gear station. I'm working on a new red bean cake recipe. The next step is red bean cake evolution. Got any groundbreaking ideas? Who needs recruitable companions, right? We'll do your best in moderation. Some of the equipment you'll find is edible. You can eat it several times depending on its upgrades. Doesn't matter how many money you make in the real world. This world has its own currency. When you mold an item, it turns into red bean cake. You might not understand what I mean, but it's the truth. What? I'm here. All the misfortune I've collected is taking me even further heights. Would you consider ranking me up at the gear station? Take care not to be exposed to the misfortune I have amassed. Recruiting companions, are you? I wish you the best of luck. Having a pestilence god like me on your side, you're an odd one for sure. You can get your items blessed to prevent them from being cursed, but be careful, some enemies can dispel the blessings. So what the fuck is the point of the blessing? Abilities for the real world don't work here. All our stats have been leveled out. By spinning continuously, you repel flying items. Truly a technique permitted only to the chosen ones. How does she do it? Alright. Achievements. E-can, 3-step finisher's barrier. Well, that sounds very situational. Using the fairies as tools for a plot was pretty justified. Who? Okina? I'm not sure who you mean there. Hikatia's plan was to use the fairies to liven up hell. So she wanted to borrow Gensokyo's fairies. By taking all the fairies out of Gensokyo, then Gensokyo would dry up and become a barren place, and Okina did not want that. And so Okina basically told her to fuck off, but she did it by kicking the shit out of Clown Piece and then telling Clown Piece to tell Hikatia to fuck off. Oh, she turned the fairies into gems, trying to get Hecate to steal them. Did she? Well, I mean, I guess Hecate offered the solution. I thought Hecate was the one doing it. Oh, wait, no, because that's why they were fighting Okina to begin with, because the fairies figured out who was doing that to them. So it was another one of Okina's ploys. I don't really understand why Okina did that, because that's kind of like actively hurting the Gensokyo. Why would she do that? That doesn't make any sense to me. The whole reason for her actions is to protect Gensokyo, but why would she put Gensokyo in such a dangerous position just to bait somebody from, like, did she find out that Hecate wanted to do that? But Hecate didn't actually do anything. I mean, she wanted to, but I don't think she was going to just take fairies from Gensokyo. It seems like Okina kind of just acted for no real reason on that one. Marissa. Emuno. Okay. Ina. Okay. What was I doing again? Uh-oh. Rank up. There we go. There we go. 1, 2, 3. Okay, good. I really don't have any Satori echoes. Surprised. Shit. The way Okina goes about her plans is pretty wild. She's very unstraightforward, but I mean, Yukari isn't exactly straightforward herself. I think she's a neat character. I rather like her. I cannot see you. How many I need more? There should be 2, right? Yes, Remy! Oh shit! Talk to Remy on floor 9. Don't use Big Pancake. Clear with Minariko and Hina in party. Okay. Don't use a Big Pancake. Can do, champ. I'm ready to go. Dungeon Challenger. Well, I don't know. I wouldn't say Okina doesn't care. She obviously cares. But Yukari is not exactly one that you know she cares either, since all of her actions seem to be kind of as they are. But you know she only gets involved in incidents where Gensokyo itself is at stake, so you know that she does obviously care. There was that line she said in not Forbidden Scrollery, in Wildhorn Hermit, that rather implicative line that she told to Kasen about whether or not Kasen was on their side. So I don't really know what Yukari's grand ambition is. She's not a very straightforward character. Ooh. The way the characters go about preserving the peace, oh jeez, of Gensokyo differs. But remember, Yukari is a yokai, and Okina is a god. They both care about Gensokyo, but I do have a feeling that they care particularly more about one aspect of it than another. Maybe Yukari's ultimate goal is to reattach to the real world. Who knows? I doubt we're ever going to see much on that. But right now, Gensokyo is like a yokai preservation area. But it also helps gods out as well, because the same issue happening to yokai was happening to gods. That's probably why they cooperated at all. It's hard to tell how well those two get along in general. They do interact with each other in the Grimoire of Usami. But they're just having casual conversation at a fireworks festival. And I don't believe either of those characters are the type to have a hissy fit or a drama fest at a social gathering. Ooh. That was nice. Well, what do you define as harm exactly? Has any of what Okina done, like, been a long-lasting effect? Okina's incident in Touhou 16 caused the seasons to go out of whack for a little bit, and also gave birth to some new yokai. But the event in question was to basically show to the yokai that were getting a little too uppity, I suppose, that she exists, specifically the Tengu. But by the end of it, the incident itself wasn't much of anything. Sure, the seasons were a little bit wacky, but nothing really happened. And see, I can kind of agree with you on Sengetsu-sei, because I really don't understand the purpose of her putting the fairies, doing that to the fairies. Because, well, ultimately it didn't do anything, I guess. Gensokyo was fine. Gensokyo was fine and didn't suffer any real major, like, changes after the fact. But the way that Okina goes about her getting her plans in motion is definitely a little bit extreme. I just don't really understand what her motivation there was. I guess she saw Hekate as a threat of some sort, and ended up trying to do something to show, like, obviously with 16, she wanted to show those in Gensokyo that she's around, and that she's not going to stand for them doing whatever they want. And then she also does the same for Hekatia, because she doesn't want Hekatia doing something as well. Maybe she fears Hekatia because Hekatia is really strong, and a character like of that strength and prestige taking an interest in Gensokyo worried her. And then with 17.5, Okina is worried about the effects of petroleum on Gensokyo society. So she ends up finding a character whose ability can actually counter Totetsu's, trains her up and sicks her on her. Her reason for doing that was to avoid petroleum from becoming a thing, because she worried about its effects in Gensokyo, because compared to how petroleum has affected the outside world. She's the reason petroleum ever got into Gensokyo. See, that's what I mean, though. Like, all of her incidents essentially just are caused by her testing Gensokyo and then, like, creating a solution for it. With, like, the fairy crystals. I don't know what her game is exactly. Oh, bye, music. Oh, wow. She wants to offset the excessive use of life force during 16. Could be true in some sense, but I don't think that was her main purpose. Well, one of the reasons she mentions is to find a new set of partners or familiars, right? But her conversation with Aya makes it pretty clear that there was a main reason why she acted the way she does. It's a bit strange the way she goes about things. I think she's currently in the process of testing testing Gensokyo as well. I'm pretty sure she makes mention about the border, or the Great Hakude Barrier, in some regard as well. Like, testing whether or not it's still capable. So introducing all these elements into Gensokyo and seeing how they go about, but also, like, informing others not from Gensokyo of her position. She's a weird character, I guess. Her character is a little bit unclear on what it is she's aiming to do. But I don't mind that particularly about her, because I consider Yukari to be similar in that front. The way she goes about it is strange, but understand why she does it. But it's one of those things of, like, do the means justify the ends, right? Like, I know why Okina is doing the things she's doing. I don't really understand why she's going about it the way she is, though. Do the ends justify the means here? That's up to your own interpretation, though. The things that Yukari has done... Well, Yukari's been involved in a few games. Yukari had a hand in the events of Touhou 7. And then 7.5 she was also a part of. But all she really did in that one was participate as a festival goer. She didn't really do anything else. In Touhou 8, she's the one who stopped the moon. Eren created a fake moon, and then Yukari was the one who stopped the moon, making the imperishable night. So, you know, she's the one that was behind that problem. But that was another thing that, like, that's obviously really bad for humans if the full moon just stayed out like that forever. But she did it for a reason. Did the ends justify the means here? What exactly makes her different from Okina in this sense? Is it because the scale of the incident? The scale of what she did isn't as grand? Characters like Marissa were worried about the moon. Human characters were worried about the state of the moon. Because the full moon, a yokai is at its strongest. I'm gonna put these away before they get eaten. I don't think Yukari did anything... Well, Yukari didn't really do anything specific in 10.5. She just got really mad at Tenshi. She got angry at Tenshi. But Yukari didn't actually have a hand in anything. Same with 15.5, with the whole perfect possession thing. I don't believe Yukari did anything in that one either, except try to figure out the problem. But that begs the question, Yukari only ever shows up when there's a problem that will affect the greater of Gensokyo as a whole, right? And of the incidents that she showed up in, not counting 7.5, because she, you know, she mostly just showed up to show up, that's been true. But she didn't show up in Urban Legend and Limbo, which is something that confuses me because the thing about Urban Legend and Limbo is the Great Hakurei Barrier was actually, like, in question. That might also have to do with why Okina got involved to begin with, was because characters from the game, like characters from Gensokyo, were slipping into the outside world from this game's events. And Sumireko was constantly, like, an invader coming into Gensokyo. And there was, like, a crack in the border. And, I mean, there's always been a weak spot. Muenzuka is known in universe as the place where the border is at its weakest, and sometimes you can just fall out of it by accident, and it's not so easy to get back in. Some characters are able to go into or leave the barrier as well. Characters like Raiko, they can leave the border whenever they choose. Apparently Kasen can as well. Kasen has done that as well, and was chastised by Yukari for doing so and not taking care to remove any, like, foreign substances she brought back. She ended up bringing back an invasive species of dandelion on one of her trips, and so Yukari ended up making her cook them all and then eat them, and they were disgusting. Yuck! But Sumireko, like, straight up threatens to, Sumireko kind of straight up threatens to blow up Gensokyo, because why wouldn't she? But when you look at the events of 14.5, it kind of seems like Mamizo was doing Yukari's job. Like, it kind of seemed like Mamizo was doing exactly the kind of thing that you'd come to expect Yukari to be handling in that situation, because she was the one who kind of made, you know, tried to scare Sumireko and make her afraid and make her leave, which just made her want to blow the fucking place up. Good job, Mamizo. You fucking did it. Not anyone can just leave, but I don't really understand how they leave, you know? There's no explanation as to why Kasen can leave, but I think she stopped doing it after a while, after the dandelion incident, so she started asking Sumireko for help. The reason Raiko could leave Gensokyo is because she's not a human or a yokai. She's a Tsukumogami. And as a Tsukumogami, and she was a relatively newborn Tsukumogami as well. So since she was still primarily an object, she was not counted by the border, essentially. So she was able to go through the Hakude barrier, find a new source of magic to keep her alive outside of the Miracle Mallet, and come back. And she shared that finding with Yatsuhashi and Benben, and that's why those three characters continue to exist despite the Miracle Mallet's power running out for all the other objects and stuff. Still, those characters don't ever get to show up in anything anyway. Bit of a shame. What did Raiko even find? Good question. Whatever she found, it had to be a source of magic that would allow her to maintain, you know, life. Magic that gave her life, so to speak. The Miracle Mallet did that. Tsukumogami, the story of Tsukumogamis is when an object lives for 100 years, it gains a soul. So that's what a Tsukumogami is. It's an object that has lived a certain amount of time and then obtains a soul as a result. So that, like, I know that Kogasa is a yokai. Oh, what? Kogasa's a yokai. I actually don't know if she counts as a Tsukumogami. Let me see. She might. I'm pretty sure she does. Okay, she is a Tsukumogami because she's an umbrella. She's an umbrella, but it's a little different for her, I suppose, because she's one that's like she's also a yokai. But she didn't really come. I don't think she really came to be by living 100 years. Same with Medicine. Medicine came to life to be reanimated by the poison and like vengeance, because grudges also allow characters to come back. The fortune teller demonstrated that quite properly. A strong enough grudge can apparently give you a way back, which is what happened with Medicine, and I suppose it also happened to Kogasa somehow. But I don't really know what Katakase Obake's like are, so maybe there's more to their origin specifically that also applies to her. But Tsukumogamis, Kokoro is a natural Tsukumogami. She is a Tsukumogami of the masks that Miko crafted, and she's relatively newborn. That's why she's having trouble expressing emotions on her face and uses her masks to do so for her, because she's not used to her newfound form, which means that she became a Tsukumogami naturally through age, that kind of thing. Like in the fortune teller's case. Oh, the reason the fortune teller came back at all was because he purposefully set something up. Like he kind of big brained it. It was kind of impressive, straight up. But like he left a book of fortune telling behind and attached a bunch of things to it. He attached a combination of like legitimate advice and nonsensical nonsense. Redundancy, right? So when Kozuzu found the book, his book, she would make use of all the fortune telling stuff, but ignore all of the gibberish. And I guess that is enough to like incite like a grudge, which allows somebody to come back essentially from the raw power of the malice and like a grudge they feel towards it. I don't fully remember the explanation given, but the general idea is that all the scribbling being ignored was the gateway that allowed the fortune teller to return. However, the fortune teller was also extremely mentally strong, which is why he was able to wait. He was able to wait as long as he did without going mad. And then when he finally came back, he was like he was 100% like calm and collected and like cool. Like he's actually a pretty, he's actually a pretty cool character. He just gets brained instantly. That's all. She sleeps like Charmander does in Mystery Dungeon. Good day. The fortune teller was a very headstrong character, but not in the way he needed to be. Roll credits. I am Romelia Scarlet, Cyber Original. Pledge me your eternal loyalty, and I would not mind joining you. I don't suppose I need to wait for your answer, do I? After all, your fate has already been decided. Kogasa was an abandoned umbrella and nobody wanted her after her color and was unpopular, according to Omake. That makes sense, yeah. Bayonet has a similar origin story. Have you ever heard the, you know Mary-san, right? Mary-san is the urban legend that, that's the urban legend that Koichi takes for herself. It's the story of a family who abandons a doll. And the doll is, you know, it's also the story for Bayonet. Like, it's a doll that was abandoned by its owner, and it holds an extreme grudge towards its former owner, and that grudge gives it life. So the story of Mary-san is, yeah, it's an urban legend. Like, they abandoned their doll, and then they started getting phone calls saying it was from Mary. And each time the phone called, the doll would get closer and closer to their location until the phone rang. And she picked up, and the doll said it was right behind them. And then cue Kirby with knife at your glass door. So like, that's the urban legend, and that's the urban legend that Koichi took up. That nobody can understand because not a lot of people know what a telephone is in Gensokyo. That's also why her last word, her occult move, her super, whatever you want to call it, is a telephone ring followed by her showing up behind you with a knife in her hand, because that's the urban legend. It's kind of funny, but, you know, it created implications that people ran with, and now we have, well, I mean, Koichi's always been a character who's been a little happy-stabby, according to the fans. So, you know, it's not like it's anything relatively new for the character, but it definitely cemented it. Her inclusion in the fighting games really, like, skyrocketed her popularity. No doubt in my mind about that one. She's really popular. She doesn't really do anything for me. I like her sister more. But, you know, Satori's not nearly as popular. Remy and Flandre are relatively the same popularity, but I'm pretty sure Flandre is more popular. Ding, ding, ding. New friend unlocked. Whammy. We have what I need to rise to even greater heights. Come, rank me up at the gear station. Why let yourself get distracted with other companions when you could be focusing on me? Recruiting companions? Well, I suppose if you insist I could join you for a bit. As I'm sure you're well aware, defeating is unacceptable. Don't even think of embarrassing me. Just so we get stronger with experience, so too do enemies. Be careful not to let your allies fall. Remember that some spell cards can't be used to their fullest within effects within corridors. You can dictate your partner's tactics. You know that's your time to shine. That's funny. Funny you think I can do that at a reasonable level. Alright, hold on. Blah. Blah. There we go. Okay. Alright, let's see. Let's just go, I suppose. It should be a new dungeon, right? Nightmare of Three Worlds. Oh, this is Heck. I know she's Sanai's partner. And this makes sense. This dungeon you ventured through a dream world designed by Doremi and Hekatia. Clear the nightmarish dungeon to recruit them both. Defeat the boss on the last floor to clear the dungeon. Ooh. Ooh. Heck and Dorami. I'm excited to see Hex art. Clear no partners being defeated. Clear that started floor. Defeat at least 10 Dorami types, not boss. Okay, well, a boss is coming up. Let's say all partners. Somebody might die by accident, even though I'll be able to shoot them down in one single hit. So I'm going to bring a card just in case. There you are. Okay. Perfect. You need a proof of true friendship to rank up Remy. Alright, I'm gonna bring one revival card just in case. I don't think it's gonna be too bad. Oh yeah, I got a bunch of like crazy cards, by the way. Like the eradication card. From the dungeon I did, but they're just gonna sit in my box. You know how this works. Where's... There it is. Gonna hang around a bit in the boss room to get one of the missions. What? What do you mean? No, you mean... No, because the mission is just defeat 10 Doramis, don't let anyone die, and, some other third thing, right? Well, whatever. I'll do this. Don't know if Dorami spawns normally or but the boss spawns them. Oh, that's what you mean. I guess I'll bring a spell card. Well, that should be fine, I think. Preparation. Okay, alright. Forms a 9x7 field. Blows adjacent enemies 2 space. Each turn, allies in the field heal have a 25% chance to lose 1 bad status and gain either super strong, times 2 speed, regenerate, enhance, or harden. Enemies take damage, lose 1 good status, either to gain either weak and soften, venom, muscle fatigue, blind, shadowbind, or bound. You have 25% chance of feeling bad. In 3 turns, Godly Winds hit enemies in the field and it vanishes. If used while active, increased field radius. Gives plus 10 turns and empowers Godly Winds. Stacks infinitely. Okay, I understand. So basically, it's a card that creates an AoE charge field that has benefits to all players and hindrances to enemies. And then after the set amount of turns, anything still in its range will explode. And if I use another card, it increases the amount of turns it needs by 10, but it increases the field of effect. Damages and blows away all enemies in a 10x3 radius in front of the user. Chat, 10x3 is like a big shot, right? That's 3 squares wide and 10 squares long, right? I can never remember rows by columns. And miracle. I'll just get the miracle card. Why not? All right. 10 horizontal, 3 vertical. Yes. Okay. Yes. 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 Yeah, I remember her danmaku being something similar. Okay, let's go. Alright. I just got Wemi, right. Okay. Alright, looks good to me. Sanai, I'm getting a cyber original reading up ahead. I believe this is Dorami, the Baku, and Hekatia, the Divine Spirit. Oh, really? Then I'll go snap them both in half. I mean, both up. Hello? Oh, she's got the gooey. Look how fuzzy her fuzzballs are. Oh, and who might you be? Oh, dude, it's like goo. It's like the TMNT ooze that comes with your Lego set. Hello, how do you do? I'm Sanai Kochiya, player in this game. Whoa. She looks good. She's got the same, like, eyes as Clown does. Makes sense. Also, her shirt's, like, gonna fall off, but it's neither here nor there. If you're all the way out here to see us, then... Yes, I'm looking for cyber originals to join me. Doremi Hekatia. Would you like to join with me? Sure, why not? Great. On one condition. Really? What condition? You have to clear an anti-player dungeon we created. An anti-player dungeon? Where's the fun in joining up just like that? Hekatia has more of a W mouth than Doremi does right now, and it's kind of throwing me off. This is something we came up with together. So if I want to recruit you, I have to overcome the trial that you have prepared. Heh, you know it. Will you accept our challenge? Alright, challenge accepted. Speed lines. I'll recruit you both, mark my words. So if you could show me to the dungeon? Sure thing, one dream world coming right up. Is it just me, or does her hair look... Something about her hair doesn't look as red as I'd expect it to be. I mean, I like it. I don't mind it, but I feel like some of her colors on her character are a little bit, like, washed out, I suppose. I don't know the best way to say it, but there's something about her art that, like, it feels like every single color on her is a little bit, like, it's a little bit, it's a little bit, like, even just the skirt as well, it's not as pronounced. It still looks fine, but it's very, like, it's very noticeable on the whole character. Let's show the show begin. I can't wait. Goop. Doremi. You'll be venturing into a Doremi world dungeon. It's a special nightmare formed from space hubris. Will you be able to wake up from it? Sure. It was only 6 floors long. Nightmare space. Oh, jeez. Neat. Yeah, Doremi's name is exactly why you think it is. Her name is just Sweet Dreams. That's it. It's that straightforward. Nothing wrong with that though. Doremi is a real name. But it's just funny because it's just the way the name Doremi sounds like how Japanese would say the word dream, like in English. Doremi. And her last name is Sweet. Good old Tapir. Well, Doremi is musical, yeah, but she's not really musical. She's the ruler of the dream world. The name Doremi works for a musical-based character, though, based on that. Doremi Tito. Fasola. Doremi Fasola Tito. Good name. Very on the nose name for a music character. Hikati's name is just Lapis Lazuli. It's crazy. Remy as well. Well, Remy's like a French name, isn't it? Remy? Isn't it short for something though? Well, not Remilia. I know we call Remilia Remy, but because the first thing I think of is Remy Gallard, one of the like oldest prank channels I ever watched on YouTube. I remember watching one where he and some friends just he dressed up as Pac-Man and chased a bunch of them around in ghost costumes through like real places, and he just tripped over a bunch of shit. He got not arrested, but he got taken into custody a few times. He stole somebody's golf ball and got smacked in the ass by a golf club. Back then, that was the extent of pranking, really. That was the extent of pranking. What a strange, wild guy. He was really good at parkour, too. I remember watching a video where he'd rip hats off of people's heads, and then he would just fucking parkour up into a high surface, and the people he took the hats from would just like look at him up there like, dude, what the fuck? Like, he was just really good at doing that. What led to the Pac-Man butt smack? He stole somebody's golf ball, and when he was running away, he got hit in the ass by the golf club because they swung it at him because he was stealing their fucking golf ball. Oh, no. Oh. It's like the Dorby motif. It's got an accordion in it. Accordion is very circusy music. I don't hate the accordion, mind you. But there are a lot of clown tracks that use the accordion in it, which is extremely fitting for the character, and I've never once had a problem with it. I mean, one of my favorite, if not my favorite, Yonder voice song is Marks of Sin, which just, like, has a crazy accordion part to it. Even the intro also begins with some accordion. It's a funny instrument, but it can kind of do its job. It works well for like every single clown track. I've never been tired of it. Clown has some pretty damn good tracks, just in general. Accordions are neat. Bagpipes are neat too, but I don't really ever hear those in anyone's themes. The Mystia track uses bagpipes in the Yokai Mountain, which is, it sounds really good. But I don't really know where bagpipes like shine. I guess folk music is where they shine. That would make the most sense. Scotland! Alright. Accordion in Breath of the Wild. Yeah, that's that game. Cass, right? The bird with the accordion. I remember I found a really good mix of you and Owen. That was it was a folk music mix. It had some I don't think it had accordion. I'm pretty sure it had bagpipes. It had some good wind as well. Had a very good wind whistle. But it was basically you and Owen, but like festival style, and it worked really, really well. Had a really good hyperactive, like festive mood to it, and it was Flandre's theme. Flandre's theme is usually pretty exciting, which makes sense. But I don't think of her theme as exciting in the sense of a festival going. Like, look at Akatsuki Records. Oh man, I love that new song. I do. Welcome to the party. Welcome to the party. Whenever you hear like a mix track, I find whenever you hear a mix track with the Vampire Sisters themes, Remilia's theme is usually the one that takes the main focus, or not the main focus, but like it's usually the more somber delivery, the more like mature delivery. And then when Yuanoan comes in, it's a lot more. There's a lot more hyperactivity and chaos to it. Like Shinra Banshos as well. Their Mischievous Scarlet Sensation song, like, there's definitely a little more. Nice. There's a little more energy to like. There's more energy and hyperactivity to Flandre's parts with her theme playing, whereas Spaghetti for Dead Princess is a little more elegant, I suppose. I keep using that word today, but like I don't really know any other way to say it. Like, I hope you understand what I mean when I cannot explain myself properly. That's all I can really hope. Manariko's art is fucking gorgeous, by the way. That was an incredible picture. I gotta look at it properly when I'm done, though. Nice. Do not miss with your great club, Sanai. That reminds me. 10 Doramies, yeah. Alright, well, I gotta avoid the bosses then. They'll die in like one hit. She feeds you and shows booba. Truly a man's dream. Oh. I mean, I guess. Wait, where'd it go? What? Oh, come back. There we go. It's not like we're entirely hard to please as people. Come on now. Come on now. Alright. Boss time. Alright, here we go. Nightmare Demise. I need to be very careful. I don't think she inflicts insane, but I don't want sleep. This mix is really fucking good, by the way. They're harmless. They can cast sleep, though. I guess that's fine. 1, 2, 3. 4, 5. 6, 7, 9. There we go. Dead. Ooh. Ooh. That's a good mix. It'll take a worse nightmare than that to stop me. Oh, not half bad. I wasn't expecting you to make it look so easy. Yes, Naya's built-in offering. The money it drops is tiny until it levels up, though. I guess a nightmare like that can't even put a dent in your psyche. Huh. Oh, I wouldn't say that. That took a pretty heavy mental toll on me, as a matter of fact. Oh, so you were more worn down than you looked. It's okay. I went to sleep with my giant club in hand, so it came with me. I guess that's what makes it a good show, though. There's some room for improvement still, but I guess it's alright for a first try. I'll come out with an even better dungeon for the next one. Her voice reminds me of Sagume more than it does Doremi. I think that's just because of M1. I watched M1 the 15th last night, and it's kind of what Sagume sounded like. Also, I'm pretty sure the guy who now introduces the, I'm pretty sure the dude who introduces the pairs is the same guy who does the voice of the Pocket Derby announcer in Yakuza 0. I need confirmation on that, but I swear it's the same guy because he has like the same. It's like it sounds so close to him. I forget his name though. What? There's more? Also, I'm pretty sure the fortune teller's voice actor is the same person who does the narration in Kaguya-sama. Like, it sounds so much like him, but I can't read the Japanese credits, so I have no idea if it's actually them or not. But he sounds so much like it. Sure, I've got the power to craft dreams. Why would I not use it? Just keep it within reason, okay? Heh, I'll try. Oh. Well, I've lived up to your end of the deal, so we'll have to do the same. You've overcome our trial quite convincingly. Curvy mouth. Now we'll keep our word and join you. Great, thanks a bunch. We'll be with you here from here on out. Although I can't say if you'll find that a nightmare or a dream come true. Should you wish it, I can ensure you only have the best dreams. Okay, that's enough for the formalities. You get the idea. Thanks for having us. I'm delighted to have you. Doremi and Hikatia. Nice. Red. Okay. Hekandori. I'd like to make myself more useful to you. Would you consider a gear station? You'll be scrambling for the remaining cyber originals I see. So should I need a ride shot, I'll lend you a hand. I'll show you a pleasant dream. Do you think you can manage handling me? There's a spell card that makes everyone in the room say goodnight. If you're ever in a tight spot, it could be just a trump card you need. You can increase the size of a talisman stack by combining them. Put the enemies to sleep and hit them with Sleep Slayer weapons. How about it? The strategy comes recommended by yours truly. I've done with this red bean cake recipe, so if you're heading out, want me to join you? Eat this red bean cake and regain your strength. We're gonna win. Conquering the Lotus Land is one thing, but we gotta get fired up about this fight. I gotta do the Tenchi dungeon now, right? Fight her team, right? This is so neat. I want to play. Take me with you. I don't really care about winning or losing. I just like having fun. Let's hurry and go visit Reimu. Yeah. My power has still got a hell of a lot of room to grow. Don't believe me? Try ranking me up at the gear station. I don't know how many times I've beaten up Hikatia rank 3. You need my power for this one, do you? Alrighty, I'll help you out. Scrambling for the last companion sounds like fun. This ought to make for a good warm-up. If you want to be the one standing tall after a brawl, make sure you keep an eye on all the enemy species, okay? When you dash and end up on top of money, you can swap an item and hold your money underfoot and pick up the money as an item. If you're just focusing on clearing a dungeon, you don't have to beat every enemy. Just beating feet and running for the portal is a valid strategy. Don't worry, I know a thing or two about that. Defeating is unacceptable when you have my backing. Rainbow is mine, no one else can have her. Alright. Let's demonstrate for them once and for all which of our sides is superior. Alright, Millie, I think you revealed a little too much there. I'm just here. What do you think the real Revy would say about that? Are you going out? I'll join you. If it's a turf war you're fighting, you can count me in. I'll work hard and make sure to earn my keep. Bunny. Feel free to find me if you need a hand with anything. You're recruiting Rainbow? That sounds like a challenge. You can't lose now, you get a Lotus Lambert to conquer. Smoko. Quack. There's so many cute girls here, it's practically a harem. Be sure to spread some of your love to me, too. Oh, aren't you a little devil? So you're making moves on Rainbow this time? Awfully scattershot, aren't you? I'm not hitting on people, Quack. What do you... We still got the Lotus Lambert coming up, so don't burn yourself out of here, okay? I'm sure someone like you won't be affected by my misfortune, so you can take me wherever you want. I will take on all your misfortune. Let's do our best together. Rainbow is such terrible misfortune. I wonder why that is. Oh, that's Saki. Okay. Alright. Well. That means... Well, how does this dungeon gonna work exactly? Like, I'm pretty sure it wants me to do... Oh, wait. You should be used to handling me by now, right? Okay, let's go get that last companion. Final time to release my full power. So the game wants me to do... Oh. Yeah, so that's Marissa coming to tell them to bring everybody with us. New dungeon. Is it a new dungeon? No, it's not. Seeking the last companion. So yeah, it wants me to do this, I guess. Because I don't have part 2 of Sanai yet. So I do have to move the plot along by doing that dungeon again as Sanai. Quackama doesn't talk, like, at all. The only thing we know about Quack is she's a little devil. That's it. And that's based on what, like, that's it. That's literally it. She never talks. She never does anything at all. People just assume that because she's a succubus because of her position as a, I don't know. It's not guaranteed she's a succubus, but, well, that's not going to stop people. That's for sure. So you're either into it or you're not. The Hakone Shrine made it as mine, you can't have her. Depending on how it plays out, we may end up fighting directly. I'm going to plan around it. My party is forged in battle, they're unbeatable. And I'm about to prove it. Achievements. Deep secret to more HP. Okay. Well, let's take a look at the cut-ins. So there's Daze. This one is very explosive in color. Is this the same artist that did Yashie? Because it definitely feels like it. It's very vibrant. I really like it. It's very good. Quacks is really good. Wow. That's amazing. I gotta see. Keep this in mind. This character name. I'm pretty sure it is. Here's Rayson. I recognize that artist. Fuck, I recognize that artist. Who is that? I don't remember the name, like, at all. But I know I've seen that artist before. Alright. Medicine. Minariko. This one is just gorgeous, dude. Straight up gorgeous. Look at that. Wow. Impressive. Momiji. This artist did Nemono, for sure. That's very good. Wow. I don't know how to best explain this one, but this one just like it. Everything about it just screams Koishi, you know? Like it really did it. It really did it. Yeah, Baba did this. I recognize that because same style for Kaneko and Suiko. Doremi. I know I've this artist too. I've seen this artist as well. I'm 90% sure I follow them on Twitter. It's very, 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 very... I don't know their names though. I don't know names. Fuck. And Hikatia. So the one between her is probably Remy, but this one is also gorgeous. Wow. And Nemono, yeah. Is that the same person that did Iku's? Let me see. Yeah, it is. That's what I thought. And yep, Yashie and Marissa are the same artist. Yep. That was correct. I was correct on that. Fuck, it's on the tip of my tongue, dude, but I know this artist. I know it. I recognize it. The menu wasn't always behind the cut-ins. Right? You'd have to... If you wanted to make a wallpaper with them, you'd have to do a little bit of legwork yourself. You can't even get it on a white screen. Be nice to have these as like wallpapers though. They're really good. Just some actual backgrounds to them. I like this one a lot, but Merlin and Lunas haven't showed up yet. This one's really good. Nice. Alright. Sato Kabi. Don't remember. I just don't remember. But like I recognize the art style. I'm really bad when it comes to names in general, but Japanese names where I can't even read them, it's like it's pretty much impossible. It's a fucking impossible thing. I follow like 250 something people, so I recognize the artists by their art, but not necessarily their names. It's really hard for me to remember their names. Alright, but I'm done. Characters seem to be sorted by game appearance. Are they? I didn't even notice. I mean, I guess aside from Sanai and Tenshi, that is correct. Like, Reimu and Marissa are the first ones. Huh. No, you're right about that. Actually, now that I think about it, all the, Huh. Alright. Good. I mean, we did that. It was like that in Genso Wonder as well, and we used that to kind of figure out who had cut-ins. It skipped from Kagero to Seija. Did it? If it skipped from Kagero to Seija, that means... You know what that means. Yeah. No Raiko, no Ben or Yatsuhashi. Actually, no, Raiko's still available because she's before Seija. But, yeah, that means the Tsukamo sisters are out. 100% out. Not surprising, really. Why would you put them in there with to compete with the Prison Rivers, right? What would they even do? Anyway, yeah. So that was great. Good progress. It was basically what I expected to happen. Go through the dungeons, get the star ranks, get the dialogue, get the recruitment, get some cut-ins, and next time I'll just redo that dungeon as Sanai, and it won't be much of a hassle at all. Probably get the last cut-in I need from Remy, because the boss cut-ins are the same as their partner cut-ins. So even though I missed Kokoro, when I do recruiter, it'll pop up. She might also show up as a boss again anyway, so I'll get it that way. So yeah. Just keep chipping away at it until I'm back up to speed. That's all.